Happy New Year. I'm just going through a lot of the videos I did from last year and just trying to pull things together. Um, I'm going to address that in one or sort of two future videos. But quickly for today, I just want to go through current rig. I sold the shorter dated options. Did manage to get through one or two sort of around here, but yeah, got slammed on the rest. So overall, taking a loss on those shorter dated options. They're the January ones, the January 20. So the time expires can hit those pretty quickly now. Everything in the market's looking bad. You know, red signal, even things like oil are rolling over. So, yeah, who knows? I've got my longer dated options that I'd ideally like to fund with shorter dated options. Um, yeah, so in the meantime, yeah, just batting hatches right down. So the only position I've got is a long dated GEO options and the long dated options on this one. So anyway, that's the first thing. Like I said, oil's been slammed. Really, sort of just everything's going at the moment. This is oil that's kind of looking like stage four. Moving averages acting as a resistance, previous support acting as a resistance. So yeah, of course I don't know, but it's just not looking very good, is it? Sort of blow off there, sort of failed sort of last gasp there, and everything's just rolling over ever since. So I mentioned in the previous video, sort of there's some interesting experts out there really bullish on oil, but also see it's not really showing in the chart. So we just have to see. It's definitely sort of most sort of bigger picture themes, but yeah, like I say, just have to see. Charts aren't really sort of supporting it right at the moment. Um, Everyone's got an opinion on Tesla, and I've tried to avoid it. One thing I did want to say is just talk about the narrative. So, mentioned in plenty of previous videos, this is looking, uh, in my review, sort of, for example, look back in May, so back here, I was starting to say I was looking like stage four, and took a while to get there properly, but yeah, definitely that's happening, and everyone here is sort of blaming the sell-off on Twitter, but that's just quite probably, quite possibly at least, a convenient narrative. Just got absolutely slammed on production numbers miss. Now people say, yeah, we're still growing a lot and the market's overreacted, but how many times have we seen this previously where you think the market's overreacted and people say it's going to bounce back, but then the next production numbers will turn out to be sort of even worse again, and all of a sudden the market was kind of proven to be correct. So I do want to say I've got no idea. It could go to 50, it could go to 300. I really have no idea. But I also know that the narrative that people are telling themselves is not necessarily right. So interesting one. But anyway, this is one of the sort of the great growth stories, probably the great growth story of the last few years, and that's been well and truly shot. The other one is the bottom fishing, because my main sort of focus is stage two, sort of uptrends and buying either on Bible gap ups or pullbacks. Ideally, a pullback after a Bible gap up. You know, so I'd love to have a process that would allow me to sort of buy sort of something that's just totally sort of bombed out, like some sort of breakdown in the RSI or Bollinger Band. But every time I sort of try and study, I can't really sort of see an edge. And Tesla's been one of those. It's sort of been looking bombed out a lot. So, and you just think, again, just keeps breaking down again. So, bottom fishing is really tough work, at least for me. One of the sort of concepts I've kind of forgotten about a little bit, to tell you the truth, but picked up again in these videos, is the idea if you want a rising 50 50-day moving average, and very clear that as the red line here, the 50-day moving average is declining. So it really just to try and keep yourself. This is a Mark Minervini concept to really keep yourself out of a stock that's not moving and moving sort of quickly in your favour. So you look back to here, the 50-day moving average is moving up. So if you're buying a sort of pullback in these periods, you're doing okay, or at least much better than here. So anyway, my overall portfolio size is minuscule now. So everything's sort of looking very sketchy. There's no Fed put in place. Are we now seeing the start of what Mark Burry's been talking about, is the earnings revisions down? So the current P/Es of stocks might actually be looking even more expensive if EPS numbers start coming down. So do we see even more sort of a valuation compression from here? Don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna the next video or two, I'm gonna sort of just look at 22 in review. It's really good to just go through that, be going through the videos and say, okay, what could I have done better? I didn't make money last year, but what's sort of showing me is that my thought process is good. Yeah, didn't make money, and I should have made money on some areas like Peabody. But yeah, just how I can improve and just put it into process now. Anyway, we'll read that then.